Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at a download called Argent or Money by Clement Natale and Illusionist. This is a coin project that has some very interesting moves, routines on it. They're very eye-catching for social media and for real-life performances, and I think I would like to make a review on this for all the people that have been interested on this and haven't really seen what it is or have seen a review of it. I'll be here to give you one right after we roll the intro. Perfect, so you decided to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Argent. Now, what is Argent? It is essentially a project that is based around coins, right? So it's around an hour project based around coin moves, coin sleights, and then taking those new moves and sleights and applying them to some various really cool and really move monkey routines. So that's the crux of the project. Now, I won't be able to perform all of the project, but I will be able to do one routine from it that I really enjoy. That is probably the simplest one in the entire thing, because the rest is quite knuckle busting, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But yeah, let's roll a small clip of me doing that routine right now. So this is a very simple move in the project. You can do it in the middle of the routine or just as a vanish, however you want. But you would have a coin, you would place it inside of your hand, and you tell the spectator to just hold their gaze right here as you just snap, and the coin completely vanishes, and they can check, no sleeves, nothing. That's the vanish. So now that you've seen that small routine, a very simple one, right? Probably the easiest one in the entire thing. But that is some of the things you can do with the sleights and moves taught in this project. So first of all, where do you buy this? How much does it cost? And what do you get? So you can buy this at illusionist.com. It's going to set you back $29.99, so essentially $30 US. And what you get is an instant video download in your account that runs a bit over an hour with Clement. I think it's at his home, and he's going to teach you all the moves, all the sleights that you need to know. There's some different camera angles for him to show you from the side profiles, etc. And also, this is, right, Clement is a French, he's a French guy. So he does have an accent for me that's really familiar, and speak French is not a problem. And it's not a problem to the teaching, but I do think that for some people, maybe during some shots, they'll have some difficulty hearing or understanding certain things, because I've noticed sometimes I do that as well. When you're speaking in English, sometimes you throw another word from another of your languages or your native language. I do that as well. So I'm guilty of that. So sometimes he does say, oh, you're going to do this, comme ça, and then he continues. So there's a small amount of this, but it doesn't deter from the teaching or anything like that. So don't be worried about this. But yes, he's the one teaching everything, except towards the end, there's a small clip with Aviap, I think outside of his apartment complex, that teaches you a variation on a move that he came up with, that he presented to Clement for this project. So that is essentially what you get. So moving on to difficulty. So what is the difficulty of this? And this is hard, right? As you probably all know, if you've been watching me for some time, I do not perform coin magic a lot. I have a very tiny amount of coin magic that I perform. There's some really good routines that are very simple. So for example, I perform Silver Edge by Commanderson, which is probably my favorite coin project I own. So I don't really perform with coins almost at all. So for someone that does know kind of the basic moves, these moves do challenge you a bit beyond that. So I would definitely say this is not beginner. This is kind of borderline intermediate. I'd say this is more halfway through intermediate all the way up to advanced. So there is one or two things here that are easy, but most of the other things, even the ones that are easy, will require practice. They will require working on angles. They will require you working on a lot of stuff. So this is not an easy project. So if you're someone that isn't really familiar with coins, and you saw the amazing performances that Illusionist uploaded on Instagram or YouTube or online, and you're like, oh, I really want to do this, and you're kind of a novice in coin magic, you will find a hard time doing this. It will require a lot of practice, a lot of it. So keep that in mind. But if you're someone that's proficient in coin magic and you're proficient already and you love coin magic, you are going to get a kick out of the moves and the subtleties and all the touches that Clement has on classic routines. You're going to get a kick out of this if you're a coin magician. Regarding practicality, is this practical to perform? Well, it doesn't use gimmicks. It uses a few coins. It uses $50. There's a few routines where he changes a $50 to a copper or to a Chinese coin. So you're going to need some of those if ever you want to do those routines. So in terms of props, you don't need much. However, for some of the vanishes, some of the sleights, and some of the routines, you will need certain clothing, okay? So for some of them, you will need maybe a jacket with a top pocket, or you need a shirt with a top pocket, or you're gonna need I'm doing what I said. I really don't know how to call it in English, but a camisole. It's like a long sleeve with a top pocket. So something like that. So you will essentially need for some routines something with a top pocket. For some routines, you're gonna need a watch. For some of them, you will need a shirt, but I think everyone's gonna have a shirt. But you will need some specific clothing for certain of the moves and certain of the sleights that play into the routines. So you can't just do this short sleeve, no watch, no pocket. So if you just pull up with no watch, no sleeve, no kind of top pocket or sleeves or anything like that, you can't do all of the routines. You will be able to do some of them, but you won't be able to do all of them or some of your favorites, right? Because they alternate in what moves uses what and what sleight uses what. So you will need to take care kind of the clothing requirements that are going to be required for certain of these routines. But I think in the trailer it's pretty transparent. I think if you rewatch it and you see him short sleeve with a watch, you know that you will need a watch. If you see him short sleeve, no watch, no top pocket, you know you don't need anything. And if you see him using a jacket with a top pocket or anything, you will know that you need for that specific routine to have a top pocket. So go rewatch the trailer or the routines and you'll know if your favorite routines that you see will require those certain requirements. So practical wise, you will need to know that. Angle wise, essentially is kind of normal coin magic angle. So maybe like a 180, 270. Some of these routines can maybe be done 360 as well, but not all of them. But there's basically just kind of normal coin magic angles, right? If you're palming something or anything like that, you have to be careful of some angles in certain routines. Regarding the reset, there is really not much reset. For some of the moves, the reset is probably going to take maybe 2-3 seconds just to take the coin out from your top pocket after it vanished or anything like that, right? So reset for some routines is 0, and for some routines is maybe 1 or 2 seconds. And the last thing that I could mention about practicality is examinability, and there is no examinability that you need to fear here because, well, it's not using any gaffs. It's just using normal coins. So these could be inspected at the start of the routine, at the end of the routine, in the middle of the routine. There's no issue regarding that. Moving forward now into where to perform. So where would you perform this? Pretty much anywhere you perform your coin magic. So you can do this close-up, stage, bar, parlor, etc. Wherever you perform your coin magic, you can perform this. I won't talk more about it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you know where you perform coin magic, then you will be able to perform these routines as well. Now, having said all that, let's go into the positives and negatives of this project. So what are the negatives of this? Well, the negatives of this is that for some people, maybe your favorite routine will require something with a top pocket and you don't perform with something using a top pocket, so you will be a bit disappointed. So you will have to play around with that. Also, some of the routines will use a watch, and depending on your dominant hand, maybe you'll have to adjust whether your watch is on your left hand or the right hand to facilitate the move. So that's also something to take into consideration. So there's a few things kind of accessory wise that you're going to have to take care of when you're performing these routines. And angle wise, also maybe for some routines, you will have to take a bit more care regarding your angles than you do in your other moves. And so there's a few things you have to be careful about. That could be some negatives for some people. Having said that, where are the positives? What are the positives? So the positives are here based on someone. So I'm going to put myself in the skin of someone that loves to perform coin magic. So the positives here is that the moves are kind of spins on classic moves, making them a bit more deceptive, a bit more fun, and a bit more clean. For example, the vanish that I performed in the performance is probably one of my favorite coin vanishes that I've learned. Even someone that doesn't do coin magic, I'm probably going to be using that vanish because it is that clean. So yeah, there's that. But even then, the routines and everything he teaches you is very, very good. The quality of the teaching is good as well. You don't need any coin gimmicks for this. You can pretty much do it impromptu with coins. So there's a lot of good going for this as well. But since I'm not a coin magician, I can't really tell you, oh, you know, the twist he put on this specific move that I've been using my whole life is much better and I can't, you know, this is a revolution, because I don't really perform much coin magic, so you do have to keep that in mind. So having said that, would I recommend this product and what would I rate it out of 10? So personally, as someone that really only performs mentalism and card magic, for me, this was worth the buy just to see kind of the extent that coin magic can be pushed to and learn a few tidbits and things here and there, and make me just practice a few things and, you know, occupy my time and learn some new things. So it was useful in that regard, but for my own performance and, you know, arsenal, this wasn't really an incredible project for me, so I'll probably give it a 7 on 10. However, if you are someone that performs coin magic professionally and is very proficient at it, you will probably love this project. It's going to push you and push your limits to a new level, and I think you're going to really appreciate this and you're going to use what you learn here. So I think for someone that does coin magic and loves coin magic, this is much closer to an 8.59. So I kind of want to give both of these ratings because I feel it would be unfair for me to tell you don't buy this because I don't like it since I don't perform coin magic, because your tastes are different to mine. So I do recommend this heavily if you're someone that does coin magic. So that is what I have to say. Those are my ratings. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. We are growing in number really fast and I really appreciate it. I can't wait to hit 1K. If you have any additional questions, leave them down below. That's it for me. See you in my next one. Bye-bye.